Hello mathematicians, I hope by watching this video and with a little bit of practice you can say I can calculate measures of variability, and we're going to specifically be talking about interquartile range in this video here. So let's get into a quick example here. When asked how many slices of pizza they normally eat, Mr. Knutson's students gave the following answers: 2, 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, 3, 3, 2. What is the interquartile range? So the first thing we need to do is we need to order this data set in order from least to greatest. So we'll start with a 1, and then 2, and another 2, and another 2, then a 3, and another 3, and another 3, and a 4, and a 5. So now that we have our data set in order from least to greatest, we are going to, first of all, we need to find our median of this data set. So we can cross out our numbers as we work our way to the inside, and we see that we have this 3 right in the middle right here with 4 data entries on the left and 4 data entries on the right. So 3 is our median. And now when we're calculating our interquartile range, that median divides it into a lower half and an upper half. And we do not include the median in either of these two halves. Okay? And so now that we have it broken up into a lower half and an upper half, we're going to look for our Q1, which is our lower quartile or our first quartile. I'm going to notate it with a Q1. Okay, so Q1 is our lower quartile, and that is going to be the median of this lower half of the data set. So if we wanted to, we could cross these numbers out again, and we see that we have 2 numbers in the middle now. So our median is going to be 2 plus 2 divided by 2. So we could go 2 plus 2 divided by 2 because we have 2 numbers in the middle now. We get 4 divided by 2, and we would end up with 2 as our Q1. Okay, so our Q1 or our lower quartile is 2. All right, now we need to go to our upper half of this data set here. And again, we could cross our numbers out, and we see that we have 2 numbers in the middle again. So our median of this upper half, so this, we notate this with our Q3, so our upper quartile, is going to be equal to, we have 2 numbers in the middle, so we add them together. So we do 3 plus 4 and then divide that by 2, and we get 7 over 2, which is equal to 3.5. So our Q3 is going to be equal to 3.5. So now our interquartile range, also known as our IQR, is going to be equal to our upper quartile or our Q3 minus our lower quartile or our Q1. So in this instance, this is equal to 3.5 minus 2, which is going to give us 1.5. So our interquartile range, or our IQR, is equal to 1.5. So just like when we're calculating median, the process is going to be slightly different when we have an even number of entries in the data set as opposed to an odd number of entries in the data set. So let's come up with our new data set with one more data entry, and let's go over how to calculate the IQR in that situation. So now we are looking at this data set. I added one more 5 at the end here. Okay, so I added myself to this, so I ate about 5 slices of pizza, so I put this on the right side here. Okay, so now first things first, just like with the last problem, is we need to calculate our median right away. So let's cross out our numbers as we find our number in the middle. Except for now we have an even number of data entries in this data set. So there's going to be 2 numbers in the middle in this situation, right? So our median is going to be right between these 2. So now you just split it up into a lower half and you include this 3 here now, and an upper half and you include that 3 as well. Okay, so now we're not leaving, in this situation we left the median out, but because we have an even number of data entries, it's right in the middle, so now we include the 3. In this instance we did not include the 3. So now we need to find our Q1 or our lower quartile, and to do that we find the median of this lower half, so we cross out our numbers again as we work our way to the middle, and now we just have 1 number in the middle. Okay, so this 2 is going to be our Q1, and let's repeat the process in the upper half, so we cross out our numbers as we work our way to the middle, and we find that we have just a 4 in the middle now. So now there's only 1 number in the middle. Up here we had 2, okay, in our upper and lower half of the data set, and now we only have one. So our Q3 is going to be equal to 4. And to calculate our interquartile range, or our IQR, again, we just take our Q3 minus our Q1, so we take 4 minus 2, and we get an answer of 2. So the difference between these two is that in this first example, there was an odd number of data entries, and in the lower example down here, there was an even number of data entries. So that is it for our video on calculating interquartile range. I hope by now, and with a little bit of practice, you can say I can calculate measures of variability, specifically interquartile range.